and basic mafuta unscented. Used to even happen to girls' schools. Some other girls' schools even go to the extent where you have to shave. In Alliance High School, you have your regulars. You can have cologne and deodorant. You can have food. You can have a radio. You can have an iron box. You could have a laptop. The only thing you're not allowed to have was a phone. But if you, by mistake, carried a phone, you could take the phone and give it to a teacher to keep to you. So if you want to use it, you go to the teacher, you use it, you come back.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That is different.
Very different. Every weekend, you are allowed to leave school. Go to Kikuyu, shop, get a haircut, get a massage, whatever. But be back in school by 5:40 p.m. So Saturday, cooler breakfast, get into Kikuyu, whatever. Then there's times, so we used to be given, that was maybe a 7 or 14 kilometer radius, so you could go wherever. Just go around, ensure you're in uniform, but come back. If you decided to stay in school, you could wear home clad. And then there used to be Sunday exits where you could go as far as you can. You amka, once you've eaten breakfast, you go, just make it back to school by 5:40.
So people would go to their homes?
Wherever you want. You would go to the movies, you could panga with your girlfriend, you could dana sijui where, you could go to whatever. The place was not a high school really. Because now remember, with all that, Saturday night entertainment, the way Enter used to happen, it was not at a function of a prefect who decides a movie. You have an entertainment committee that goes to Kikuyu and looks for the trending movies. You give us the trends and you put them on a notice board so that you know these are the possible options you have for movies to watch on Saturday. So what are like, oh, Toa, you know exactly what you want, whatever is trending, and there used to be updates. It was like a very highly functional, highly enabling environment. That, and on top of Sijui, and the meals were good because breakfast used to be bread, margarine, jam, could be an egg, uji, and tea. Both. These days we'd have sausages in the morning. These days we'd have eggs in the morning.
Sausages?
Yes.
Sausages?
Yes. And then if you are like a sportsman,
the one that you couldn't afford at home.
Hiyo yenye mimi sikuwa iona nikiwa mtoto. Kunakuja kupata nayo hapa kwa meza. And it was not a cafeteria system. It was a table system. So one table, it's according to dorms, 16 students or 19. 19 is too much. 16 students. And it has a table leader and a table server. Those kinds of things. The meals were so sijui nyama. There's days, Thursday evenings we used to eat fish or chicken.
Chicken?
Yes.
Chicken?
So I'm telling you, like, if you went into bush, you would live without...
Why is it called bush?
Because it's in a thicket.
Oh,
it's in it's just literal. It's in the middle of a forest and it lies on a lot of land. And actually, the biggest inland swamp in Africa is called Ondiri. It's inside the school, but now the bypass pitted. The bypass went cut across the school, so it was it's smaller. Of course, it's still smaller than Lenana because Lenana is the biggest school in terms of landmass. However, so you think about that, but then on top of the food that you have, the good food, you're allowed to have snacks. The Scouts have a canteen. There's a canteen in the school. The Social Welfare Society has a canteen. You can buy whatever. Unaingia unapata mtu amepatiwa pocket money ya 5,000. Akona kila kitu na akona 5,000 on top. Remember, we also used to be given tea break. So you had breakfast, tea break, lunch, 4 o'clock tea, supper. If you are a sportsman,
how many meals are those? That's a 7-star.
You have and if you're a sportsman, you have extra diet. I was a swimmer, so extra diet. I was assured of extra diet, both in the morning and in the evening. Athletes wameshughulikiwa to rugby, basketball, soccer, football, and swimming. Bado mtu akona 5K ama 12K. Ya nini?
Yeah.
So
your movies on the weekends.
Already tukona, like the weekend again, you need to remember we're also allowed to socialize with girls. Alliance Girls was just the other side. Writing a letter to Alliance Girls was free. It was box 7 Kikuyu. You write a letter in the morning, gets to your girlfriend. If she's serious, it could be back to you in the evening.
It was like email.
Yes. People used to come for benchmarking. And girls would sleep in the dorms. They would sleep for like a whole week. So
what do you mean by that?
So because Bush has a lot of dorms at the time, so they would have, for example, an annex that belongs to the entire girls' school that has come. But we are together till like 10:15. In Bush, we used to wake up at 6:30.
6:30?
Yes. 6 official waking up time, but 6:30. No waking up. Waking up prior was an offense, really. Lights out the whole school at 10:15. You preps the nation 9:30. 9:30 to 10:15, you iron. You go into the iron bay, you iron your clothes, those kinds of things. But still, now you see now how people are balling. Because one, you've entered this place which is heaven, but then there are people who are actually way more, way deeper. Kuna msee alikuja hapo second batch, kambia we are not admitting you if you don't bring a letter from Kibaki, from the president, even if you, unless you come with a letter from the president. Akaenda akarudi, I think on Wednesday, the letter from the preso. Like guys of influence were in that school, proper. It throws you off, especially because now you see I'm smart, but so is everyone. How many of you are number one? How many of you are head boys? How many of you are like highly functional individuals? Over years. Game, there used to be a Form 4 who was one of the smoothest talking men I've ever met. It's called Adrian Kabala.
The smoothest man you've ever met.
Adrian Kabala had game.
Yeah? Game for the girls or game for everyone?
He was a proper seducer. And one, he dressed so well. And Busharians have a walk. It's very upward gait. If I see a Busharian, he does not need to tell me which school he went to. I'll see it from his walk, from his handshake, from the way I can just identify. Kabala had game, and he was good with languages as well. And Kabala confused women. Wachana na girls. Already girls alikuwa shakonka. It was so bad that he had like a thing. He was in a love triangle involving like a nurse and a sugar mommy. Do you know, as a Form 4, for you to changanya a woman in her prime time, na nurse, an actual working doctor, do you know how mad that is?
That is mad.
It used to be like that. And for us, and I didn't notice, but we realized we even had quite a bit of access even to like sugar mamas. Because there's a lady, for me, who I started playing at some church somewhere.
Shit.
Yeah, I was playing piano.
You saw her seated?
She came.
Flipping the Bible.
Akakuja hapa, siku hizi the Bible. And I remember I used to play piano in that church. And she came to me and she started by giving me money. And she told me, if you ever need anything, just tell me, whether it is pocket money or fees or you just want to come home. In my head, I just thought it was kindness.
Did you take up the offer?
Never. I was stupid. I was too dumb.
You threw away the 50 shillings the second time.
I was too
dumb. That's another 50 bob. That's another 50 bob you threw.
I was so dumb. So Bush, a lot of people don't understand what the Alliance High School is. They hate on a thing and that's why I'm like, even politically, if I look at what's happening politically, I could draw a direct parallel to Alliance High School. Because remember, first cabinet, old boys, tupu. Everyone's Jui Nini. People hate on Jonjo, but he made the most Jui personal contribution to the school in terms of like development. Those kinds of things that we don't even have time. Alliance High School should be like an episode on its own for deconstructing, because if you want to decolonize, if you want to redo your politics, your religion, ulikuwa unaingia hivi, mnafika Form 2, unakuwa atheist ama unakuwa staunch Christian. You become an atheist and they go into sciences. It was so apparent. So I see things happening in society right now. I'm just like, oh yeah, it was something. So now that your inferiority complex, that's where it's set in. And so now for me, I had to overcompensate, and now I even sunk into now the depressive episodes now. That's now the first time I start seeing nikubaya. And now like the trauma now that from childhood spills into high school. And of course I go through like another rough experience with like the older boys, and now it becomes chaotic and I become suicidal. And at some point I want to sell my soul to the devil. I wanted to do anything to die. Again, there was even space for that. Because remember, goth culture, rock, there was space for everyone. And so it was a place where I'm grateful I went to Marana High School, because
what happened?
Oh yeah,
because you